You know what's wild? Two people, same city, same salary, same age. One of them wakes up every morning and feels fine. The other one wakes up every morning with that heavy feeling in the chest before they even open their eyes. Same life, completely different experience. The only difference between them, one has $10,000 sitting in a bank account, the other doesn't. And I know what you're thinking. Dave, that's obvious. More money equals less stress. Thanks for that groundbreaking discovery. But here's what nobody is actually talking about. It's not about the money. It's about what that specific number does to your brain, your decisions, your relationships, and your future in ways that have nothing to do with spending a single dollar of it. Stick with me, because by the end of this, you're going to see money completely differently. Let me describe something most people never put into words. When you have no savings, you don't just have a money problem, you have a thinking problem. Your brain is running a background program 24 hours a day. It's called what if. What if the car breaks? What if I get sick? What if they cut my hours? What if this month is the month everything falls apart? You can't turn it off. It's just running, constantly, quietly draining your mental battery while you try to focus on work, on your family, on actually living your life. Psychologists have a term for this, scarcity mindset. And the brutal thing about it is this, it makes you worse at everything. Not because you're weak, because your brain is genuinely overloaded. There was a famous study where researchers gave cognitive tests to farmers. Same farmers tested twice, once before harvest when money was tight, once after harvest when they got paid. The difference in their scores was equivalent to losing 13 IQ points. 13 points just from financial stress. So when people say broke people make bad decisions, they're right, but not for the reason they think. It's not a character flaw. It's a brain under siege. And $10,000 is what ends the siege. Here's where it gets interesting. The moment you cross that $10,000 line, nothing in your life actually changes. Same job, same apartment, same everything. But something invisible shifts. The background program turns off. Not completely, but enough. Enough that you start noticing things you never noticed before. Enough that you sleep differently. Enough that you stop white-knuckling your way through the month. And the ripple effects of that are insane. You stop making desperate decisions, and desperate decisions are expensive. Taking a job you hate because you need it right now, staying in a bad situation because leaving feels impossible, accepting the first offer because negotiating feels dangerous when your account is empty. Desperation has a price tag, and most people pay it every single day without realizing it. $10,000 buys you out of desperation. That alone is worth more than the number itself. Ready for the part that actually broke my brain when I first understood it? $10,000 doesn't change your life because you spend it. It changes your life because you don't. That money just sitting there, untouched, is doing something to you psychologically that it's genuinely hard to explain until you feel it. It's like having a superpower that only activates when you're calm enough to use it. You walk into your boss's office differently. You don't need this job to survive the next 30 days, and somehow your body knows it, and your boss can feel it too. You meet someone interesting at a networking event who mentions an opportunity. The broke version of you would have been too exhausted from survival mode to even be at that event. The $10,000 version of you is present, curious, ready. You see a course, a certification, a tool that could double your income. Before, you scroll past it because the upfront cost feels impossible. After, you do the math and realize it's the most obvious investment you've ever seen. Same opportunities, completely different person receiving them. That's what $10,000 actually buys. Not security, a different version of yourself. So if $10,000 is so life-changing, why do most people never build it? It's not income. I've seen people making $30,000 a year build it. I've seen people making $100,000 never get close. It's identity. Most people approach saving like punishment. Cut everything, suffer for a few months, treat yourself for surviving, start over. That's not saving, that's a crash diet, and it fails for the same reason crash diets fail, because you never actually changed who you are. The people who build real savings don't try harder. They decide differently. They decide they are the kind of person who keeps money, not tries to keep money, is someone who keeps money. That one shift changes every small decision automatically. You don't need willpower for every choice when your identity is already made up. And here's the math that makes this real. The average person bleeds about $3,000 a year through automatic spending they barely notice: subscriptions, delivery fees, impulse purchases at checkout, coffees that somehow cost $9 now. Cut a third of that bleeding, just a third. You're at $10,000 in under 3 years without dramatically changing your life. The money is already there. It's just leaking. Once you have $10,000, something strange happens with how you see money itself. Before, money was something that disappeared every month, something that slipped through your hands no matter what you did. After, you start seeing it as something that moves, something you can direct, something that can go to work for you instead of just passing through. That's when people start actually investing, not because they suddenly got smart, because they finally have the mental space to think past next Tuesday. And once you start investing, even small amounts, you see returns. And seeing returns changes something fundamental in your brain. Money stops being this thing you lose and starts being this thing you grow. That psychological shift is worth more than any single investment you'll ever make. The first $10,000 is the hardest. It's climbing the first hill on a bike. Everything after that gets easier, not because the math changes, because you change. Here's the truth I want to leave you with. The version of you that has $10,000 saved isn't richer than you are right now. They're freer. Free from the background program, free from desperation, free from making expensive decisions from a place of fear. And that freedom doesn't require a windfall, doesn't require a lucky break, doesn't require being born into the right family. It requires one decision repeated quietly every single month until the number on the screen matches the person you decided to become. Start with whatever you have. $20, $50, $100. The amount is almost irrelevant. What matters is that you start and that you don't stop. Because on the other side of that number is a version of your life that feels nothing like this one. Go build it.